Welcome to the Lightning Out the Bottle podcast. I am your host, Mr. Leach. Good to be back talking Charger football with you guys. What up, Bo Gang? We in the building. It's another year, it's another time. Great day for football. Draft day is officially here, so we're recording this video right before the draft starts. So we want to get ready for that. And it's going to be an exciting day to find out what they're going to do with the first pick. Are they going to actually stand pat? Are they going to trade up? Are they going to trade down? What are they going to do? You know, we never really know with this team, Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh, and what they want to do and how they want to build this team. We know they want to do it through the trenches, but we don't know if they want to go offense, defense. So this is going to be very interesting, very interesting. But this is just a quick video I want to do for you guys. So today we're going to focus on the later rounds. We got 11 sleeper picks at positions of need that the Chargers could actually look at 4th, 5th, 6th round. We're going to focus on the 5th and 6th round, but some guys, you know, we had to try to sneak in there. But 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, there's a ton of guys that we can go after. We're going to do this position by position, so let's get it. At running back, now, he's slated to be a 5th round pick. This would be a fantastic pick if we could get him in the 5th round. It would be running back Jaden Blue. 5'9", 196 pounds, 4.38 40 with a 1.52 10-yard split. Had 134 carries for 730 yards, 8 touchdowns, had 5.4 yards average per carry. He has great speed, great footwork. He played around. He played behind some great running backs, so he doesn't have a lot of tread on his tires. The biggest issue with Jaden Blue is he drops the ball, and he drops the ball a lot. But I think that's just focus and experience, and I think, you know, getting coached up in the right system with Harbaugh and Greg Roman, and being able to sit behind Najee Harris, who's a solid back, and just being able to be the lightning to his thunder. I think that would be a great addition. If somebody gets him in the 5th round and they can get those fumbles under control, man, he's going to be a weapon. He's going to be a sight to see in the next coming years in the NFL. So if you can get him in the 5th round, Jaden Blue will be an absolute steal. At the wide receiver position, we had a couple of guys honorable mention. You know, you could go Nick Nash. I wouldn't be upset with that. Pat Bryant, Isaac Tesla. But I went with, you know, the great Dante Thornton. 9-route monster. The guy just all deep routes, 7s, 8s, 9s, deep posts, in, out, 9-route. He's a true X receiver. If somebody could get him, let's say the Chargers got him and you set him behind Mike Williams for a year, that would be a fantastic year that he could sit there and learn how to run more routes, get work through the route tree, and come out. And at the end of this, we would decide whether we wanted to keep Mike Williams or not, or just go ahead and move on to Dante Thornton. He's 6'5". I mean, that alone is a problem. He's 6'5", 205 pounds. He runs a 4.3 flat 40 with a 151 10-yard split, 33-inch vert. He had 26 catches with 661 yards, 6 touchdowns, couple drops. He's a contested catch specialist. You know, he's a real true deep threat. And like I said, the biggest issue with him is going to be his route tree. His route tree isn't strong whatsoever. So you really have to work on that. Other than that, man, you could be getting a stud in the making. This guy could really be one of the greatest wide receivers we've ever seen because he has that skill set. He just actually needs to be taught how to run routes. And if he can get that down, watch out. At tight end, we went with one of my favorites from the draft. He's fell a little bit more, and he has a 6th round grade on him. Jalen Conyers, the 6'4", 260-pound triple threat weapon of the future. He runs a 4.7 40, has 1.65 yard, 10-yard split, 30 catches for 320 yards, 5 touchdowns. He has 7 drops though, 8 carries on 31 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's a versatile weapon. You know, he's a player that can be moved around all over the field. He can even take snaps at the quarterback position. If you get a guy like this and you have a very creative coach, he could be like a Deebo Samuels type of player, just a bigger, stronger Deebo Samuels. The 7 drops is very concerning, but, you know, if you can reel that in and you can get his focus down, I'm pretty sure that he would be a great addition to any team. He'd be, like I said, a Deebo Samuels type of player. If you can get him the ball creatively in space, he can get you, you know, 8 to 12 yards every time moving the ball, you know, getting you first down. So he's definitely a valuable weapon to add to your roster. And if you could get this guy in the 6th round, 7th round, he's definitely worth taking a flyer on. At offensive tackle, We got out of Rutgers, Holland Pierce, 6'8", 341 pound, 24-year-old. Will be backing up Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt. I mean, the guy is a house. He's a house. Think about that. You have a 6'8" guy, 341 pounds, backing up another 6'8" guy, 340 pounds. I mean, that would just be that the defense would be overwhelmed if you were switching these guys in and out. Standing next to Mekhi Becton, you know, it's just ridiculous. That the size alone is definitely worth the flyer, but he's very disciplined. He's only got four penalties in his 3,100 snaps. Just lets you know that he's laser focused. He doesn't make stupid plays. He doesn't make bad decisions when he's on the field. He's aware of what's going on. He has great arm strength, great arm length, great hand strength, great hand placement. His technique does need some work. He is a little bit too stiff, but if you can get those feet moving and you can get him loose, he would be a definitely great addition to be a swing tackle for any team that would draft him. But he especially would be great on the Chargers, seeing as that's the archetype of tackle that they seem to be wanting to go with. And to grab this guy who has a 5th round grade on him, you can grab him in the 5th or 6th round with one of those 4-6 round picks. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. So, yeah, Holland Pierce, 6'8". Love it. An interior offensive lineman, we went ahead with Jalen Rivers, a 6'6", 319-pound guard, big, strong, great timing, great hand strength. The one thing that does concern me is he missed time in 3 different seasons, so health is definitely going to be an issue. This is a Ben Herbert project. We want to get him strong and healthy and durable so he can last for 17 games in a NFL season. But this is a great pick to pick up later in the draft. He has a 4th round grade on him, but I do see him actually slipping to the 5th, maybe 6th round. So if you could pick this guy up later, that would be a fantastic addition to your team. And if not, no skin off the back, but he's a great, great, great guard coming out of Miami. He has great experience. He's played in some big games. So, he's a very good, very consistent interior offensive lineman, and he'd be a great addition to any team that he goes to. So, hopefully we can pick him up in the 5th round. That would be a fantastic addition, and somebody can come in there and compete for time. Also at the interior line position, we got Joe Huber out of Wisconsin, a 6'5", 310-pound guard. He has great timing. He has a 5th to 6th round grade on him. He has great timing with his hands and his feet. He's very, very athletic, very mobile. He does well pulling, so that's very important as a guard. You want to have an athletic guard that can pull, has great footwork. He does need to get his technique a little bit together, get his hands a little bit stronger, with his pop a little bit stronger, and I think he could be a very impactful player at the next level. Good IQ. He makes good decisions. So that would be another good one to add to the line later on in the draft. 5th, 6th round. Like I said, he has a late 5th, early 6th round grade on him. So to pick him up in the 5th, 6th, maybe even the 7th round would be an absolute steal, I think. So keep your eye out for Joe Hubert. Next, we got one more interior offensive lineman. He actually can play guard and center. That's why I wanted to put him on here. And that would be Joshua Gray, 6'5", 299-pound center / guard out of Oregon State. The problem with him is that he has very, very short arms for alignment. And that's a problem. That's why you got to push him inside to the center position to kind of hide the fact that he doesn't have the length to play the guard or the tackle position. But he has great athleticism, and he can be coached up in the weight room, and that should help him improve a lot. But it's always going to be an issue with him having those short arms, so that's why you have to move him inside. But if you can get this guy into the center position and let him play and develop, I think he can develop into a star in the future at the center position. So getting him, who has a 5th and 6th, late 5th, early 6th round grade on him, that would be a great, great, great addition to the interior of an offensive line. He's a very intelligent player, good leader, and he would bring nothing but positive traits to whatever line that he actually comes to. So keep your eye out for Joshua Gray, too. Wherever he goes, they're going to be getting a steal on that team. At the D-line position, we got a guy he has a 4th to 5th round grade on him. You guys know who he is. It's Riley Mills out of Notre Dame. I really initially wanted to go with Howard Cross, who has a 7th round grade on him, but Riley Mills is just the gap between where he's graded and his actual talent is just, it's ridiculous. He definitely in any other draft would be a late first, early second round draft, but because this D line draft is so deep, he comes in with a fourth to fifth round grade. So if you could get this guy in the fourth or the fifth round, you're absolutely getting a steal. He's 6'5", 296 pounds, 37 tackles, 8.5 tackles for a loss, 7.5 sacks. He's big, he's strong, he's versatile, and he could pop outside and play the edge as well. So you could put other D linemen in there in rotation. There's so many things that you could do with Riley Mills. If you get him late in the draft like that, in the fourth, fifth, on the third day, you got a complete steal. So you guys keep your eye out for Riley Mills and where he goes, because wherever team he goes to, their defensive line just got upgraded massively, and they didn't have to spend a lot of assets to get him. So that's one of my ones that you really got to keep an eye on. At linebacker, we got Nick Martin out of Oklahoma State. He's a 6', 220 pound tweener, which is the problem. That's the biggest issue with this guy. He's built like he's a safety. He's not built like a linebacker. He's very active. He's more of a Derwin James type. He would come in and he would basically play the same type of position that Derwin James would play, because you can't have him at linebacker consistently in the NFL. He's just too small. And I think if you put on too much weight on him, he's going to lose a lot of the speed that he has. So you kind of got to have, he basically, we have to come into the type of team that could build or put him in a position where he could play to his strengths, which is basically attacking the run downhill and rushing the passer, right? But he's not going to be the type of guy who who can do well in coverage. He does decent enough in coverage, but he's not that type of a player. He's the type of player that needs to be rushing the quarterback and focusing on the flats, tackling running backs out in space. He's that type of guy. If you can come to a team and they can carve out a role specifically for him on their defense, I think he could be an impact player for sure. At cornerback, we got Justin Wiley out of Minnesota, a 5'11", 195 pound, 42 tackling, 25 solos, 2 interception, 1 touchdown, 70 yards, 10 pass defended, 6th round grade. Now that's ridiculous. This guy is a dog on this field, and he has great ball skills and he has great closeout skills. He just needs to stay home and trust his assignments more. Not falling for pump fakes and head nods and all those things. He's being looked off. And that's just focus and coaching and discipline. So I think if he comes into the right situation, he'll be fantastic with that. He had partially torn MCL, and that cost him 2 games, but he played on that knee injury for most of the season. So the guy, you can't question his toughness. And with a 6th round grade on him, I don't think you can go wrong taking a flyer on him 6th or 7th round. At the safety position, we got R.J. Mickens, 6 foot, 199 pounds out of Clemson with a 7th round grade. He runs a 4.49 40, has a 1.55 10-yard split, 41-inch vert, 10.1 broad jump. So he's a very explosive athlete. He's an aggressive tackler with great wrap-up technique. He has 76 tackles, 2 interceptions, 7 passes defended. 44 of those tackles were solos. So he's a very aggressive tackler. He can come in, he can make plays in the box. He's very aggressive, he's very physical, so he often knocks the ball loose. Just a dog on the field, and that's somebody that you really want on your team. He's a leader in the locker room. He's great in space, and he can really develop into a special player. Sometimes his focus can disappear, and he can disappear in games, but again, that's just coaching. And once you get this guy focusing on the field, coming in playing with a Derwin James, a Deion Henley, and Khalil Mack teaching him the ropes, this guy could really, really turn into something absolutely special. And he could take off plays with Aloy Gilman and Elijah Moulton, be rotating him in and out. And he could really develop into something special, man. So you guys look out for R.J. Mickens, man. He has a 7th round grade on him to him, which is absolutely ridiculous. To get him in the 7th round would be just astronomical. And finally, at edge rusher, I had a 6th round grade on Tyler Barron. He played 4 years at Tennessee and he played a year at Miami. He's a 6'5", 260 pound edge rusher running a 4.62 40. Has a 1.61 10-yard split. He has 10-inch hands, 33.1/8-inch arms. He's a big, strong, long, physical edge rusher. He has great speed. He's aggressive hand placement. Great pursuit. He uses his length well, And, he just needs good coaching to work on his focus too. A lot of these guys, that's why they're dropping and they go late in the draft, is because there's little things that people notice. And this one is mostly focus. So, he gets a ton of penalties because of that. And I think that just changes and improves over time with coaching and, veteran leadership around him. A lot of that stuff will go out the window, and you could be getting you a steal in the 6th round. I mean, really getting that guy in the 6th round, it would be ridiculous. It would be a great, great addition to any team, and anybody would be overjoyed if you could get the guy in the 6th round. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I just wanted to do a quick video to give you 11 picks, sleeper picks of mine that I think are going to be fantastic. Thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know who are some of your favorite sleeper picks in this draft, because this draft is super deep. And I know you guys got some, so just let me know in the comment section. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you get my videos first. And always and forever, bolt up, baby.